interested to see how both of these players adapt to the table there. John, I think, is one of those kind of natural players who is a very accurate potter. I think this will suit him. It's obviously the talk of the event so far. I don't want to labour it too much, but
I think it's going to be the talk. Tony and I were talking about it a lot. You know, you talked a lot with it, Tony, in the last match, but no doubt about it that the tables being tighter is certainly affecting the mindset out there. And I actually agree with you in terms of John McAllister. He's been arguably, if there wasn't a certain Tom Cousins at the top of the rankings, he's probably been Player of the Year. He's certainly in the conversation with Tom and one or two others. I think these new tighter tables will suit John. I think he's got a game that's built on cue ball control and patterns. And I think that's only going to be emphasised with the way the tables are playing.
Yeah, and we've not seen too many in the way of dry breaks so far. So one early on from Dom Cooney gives John the first opportunity, goes after yellows. All the yellows are there. Just needs to mind the work here. The line from the yellow on the right hand side, the red is quite close to it, so he needs to get. He's a little bit worried about the angle he's going to leave. Just needs to make sure that he can get down table after the next shot. He's got one near the middle pocket, so there shouldn't be any problems here. In fact, all the balls link up pretty well. Just finished a fraction low. The red is in the way of coming backwards, so probably looks like he thinks he can just pinch past, or maybe even screw back off the yellow. Yeah, didn't need to do very much. Again, he can just drop this in the middle. Just needs to be careful of the cannon onto the red, with just dead weight. Push the red aside, leaves himself on the one down the cushion. Is he on the knuckle?
Well, that'd be very unfortunate.
Body language suggesting maybe. Now looking to see whether he's got the gap to the one on the right hand side, but it doesn't really do much for him. Even if he can get through to it, how do you get back across for that last yellow? I think he's got to play this and try and turn the ball over, but I'm not sure. I think it's buried in behind the knuckle. You can see him.
He's playing it clean.
Yeah. A little bit of side though, just to try and turn it. There we go. There's a tight pocket. He's not left much. Left much at all. Nowhere particularly safe for Dom either. Maybe play off this red at the bottom of the table and try and come up in behind the two reds at the top of the table, but yeah, this is already tough. Just tied one up. Or has he?
Yeah, it looks like it's okay.
John's pretty thin on this yellow as well, so even if he can see the potting angle of the one on to the right, he couldn't have held the cue ball, so just drops it over.
Interesting decision not to pot that. I wondered if he could have just dropped that in dead weight, played the yellow that's by the red, and leave the cue ball underneath that red and pump that yellow over the pocket. Then all of a sudden Dom's in a world of trouble, because he's got to get out of. He's got to either move the ball he's next to, or get out of, hit another one and not leave the yellow that's over the pocket. I'm not sure if that was an option for him, but may have been.
Nice pot. Real tester. Early doors. It's the first one that Dom's had in the match in open play, and he comes through that challenge. So lots of turn shot coming up.
Beautiful shot. Plays a combination. I think you're right though. I think he wanted it to be a loss of turn. Yeah, but he still retains complete control of his frame though.
He's going to be snooping at the top of the table. He wants to force John into moving that yellow just to open the pocket for the red. And you feel that Yeah, I mean, John to get out of the snooker, he's going to do the hard work for Dom. Dom in control of this frame now.
Good snooker as well. Hit this one off a couple of cushions, but not guaranteed. Dom actually wants him to hit it.
Ball in hand. Time running.
It's actually not the worst leaf for John. For everything that could have happened there for him, obviously there's very much that could end up in his favour. He's at least making it slightly tricky here for Dom. But no.
Not too much pressure here, though. I mean, I think I'd be leaving this at a bit of a wider angle, to be honest, to get the cue ball up the table for one of the balls at the top of the table, and just to make sure that John doesn't have that yellow if he does miss. Oh.
Yeah, I thought he had for a minute. I thought he just slightly overcut it, but in it falls.
Yeah, as I say, I think I'd have left a wider angle and just sent the cue ball up towards the bulk area, just so you've got that element of safety. But
take pressure off yourself.
Yeah, Dom backing himself to pot it.
Well, played his first couple of shots quite positively, and then cues across that one. Slightly surprising from Dom. Frame there to be won. And, well, he's still a massive favourite to win it, but he's given John McAllister a swinging chance here.
Getting a ball up into the bulk area, trying to get it in the mix, just to cause Dom some kind of problem.
Is that the percentage play, or is it? I mean, position he's in there. You've got a long shot at a double, maybe make something happen. And if you go tactical there, surely you're going to end up losing most of the time. I suppose he can say, well, he was trying to put pressure onto Dom, and that's happened. But the yellow's gone into an awkward position, so he still doesn't have any reward for that.
Just going to sit the cue ball on top of the yellow, I think. Now he's trying a treble. Trying to make something happen. Yellow is in slightly better position now, which does put a bit more pressure on Dom's clearance. Dom's missed a couple of balls already.
I think because he's missed a couple of balls, he might not take this on the way. I mean, the easiest way to take this on is to drop this yellow, red in right centre. But if he takes this and misses, he's leaving the yellow on this time. And he's still backing himself to do it. Played it with a little bit more pace. Plays it well. And that's good. Nice angle just to come back up the table for the one on the break line. What a fascinating first frame we're seeing here, Nick. Well, we've talked about the tables a bunch, but the fact of the matter is we're 2 matches and a frame in here, and we have seen more misses than we're used to seeing.
Wow. Whatever that was,
it's dead.
No
it's done.
longer exists. Put a dent in the table. Nice finish it eventually. I mean, simple enough clearance, but yeah, to clear the fog of the previous missed pots, and does it well.
Yeah, 1-0, Dom Cooney. Very scratchy frame. Used up about a fifth of the match clock. Tough for Mark Fleming. Nature of the draw, really. Nice break from John. Awkward layout.
Yeah, good solid connection. As you say, a little bit messy. Probably just fading yellows, I think. The two reds near this end of the table, not easy to develop. If the yellows actually all have a pocket, the one just above the 8 is a problem. If it passes to bottom right, I don't think it does, but it may just glide past the yellow. If so, he could get down on it now, or he could come down and cannon the 8 and leave himself on the 1 to bottom right. I think he has to try and do something on that now. He's come down to try and land on it, so he obviously feels he come far enough. It's all a question of whether the yellow just to the right, the 8 ball passes to bottom right.
Right now it feels like he's backing himself into trouble.
Yeah, he's backing himself to leave that yellow until last, but he needs a good angle here to get across. That looks pretty good. He can stun across the face of the reds, just leave himself on that left-hand side cushion.
He'd love to get to the straight, but you feel like he's going to leave himself high at best.
Oh,
no, he gets
shot
to the straight, gets past the straight. That's fabulous.
Dice with that red, but just missed it. Fabulous clearance. That's going to give him a lot of confidence because he knows that Dom really struggled and needed a couple of bites of the cherry to get through his frame, and John.
Yeah, the other half of Team Blessed. Not as an explosive a break as it was for John, but they still come out really nicely for him. Seemed to bounce off the front ball just a little bit, maybe caught it on the hop just a touch, but still come out nice.
A couple of problems though, because he doesn't have an opener on yellows. He's got the red. He's got an angle to develop one of the difficult reds, which is the one on the right, but then he's left with the one on the left-hand side cushion.
Yeah, it's actually a little trickier finish than I first thought it was going to be. When they were flying around the table, I was expecting it to be a fairly even split, and whilst there'd be a problem or two, I think you'd expect him to go, but too many problems there.
Surprised to see him pull out of that one though. I would have thought he would have gone for it, especially having. I guess he's looking at the ball on the left-hand side cushion, and he's got nothing to develop it with.
No means to double it either.
It doesn't double, so yeah, it's obviously the deciding factor. I think I would have preferred to be reds here though. Now even more tricky. Yeah, this is another frame that's going to take minutes off the clock. And John will be happy to see this because, again, it's another frame that Dom's broken, and it's going to, even if he wins it, it's going to be a struggle. He's going to have to work for it. Got a yellow to middle if he wants to take it, but just tying up another one.
Neither player are going to want to take this on. Both players are. These sort of situations, you get a sense from a player that one player always wants to be more aggressive, and the other player might dangle a carrot. I think both these players will play the game. Both these players will be patient. Dom certainly has a very good all-round game. He's not all gung-ho. John tends to be a little bit more in the sort of go for it kind of camp, but he still plays the all-round game, and he goes for it because he can get them, not necessarily because they're that it's the standard MO. So I think both players will be patient enough to. This could go on a little while.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. There's lots of play left in this one, lots of visits. The yellow and red on the left-hand side are a massive problem in this frame. Whichever set you go for, both. I mean, the red's just probably slightly easier to develop, but the yellow. I mean, what do you even use to get into that horrible layout now?
Red ball's in play.
Colours are a sign. Just because he's popped that ball doesn't mean I think he's going for the finish here. I'll be shocked if he continues.
Well, it looks like he's going to screw across and try and develop that red.
No, he is going, but maybe not now. That has not come out.
I think we just see him push this this red. Just put some cover in. Doesn't want it over the pocket, but just some cover across the face of the yellow. Or even just straight into it and just push the yellow on top of the red on the side cushion. He's got the ball long, but doesn't really do much for him.
Containing shots played from both of them. Right now you just favour Dom the way these are laid out. That little bit of aggression shown from John, trying to make it happen, is just put him behind in the tactical exchange. Not by a million miles, but just enough.
Yeah, the ball over the right pocket, you could use that to develop the one to the left of it, but still got the problem on the left side cushion. I think he'll want to do something about that before he even thinks about potting another ball. Is there an option? I'm just trying to see if there was an option now just to bring that yellow up and take the chance. Well, yeah, exactly. I was just looking for a way to try and do that and get that yellow out while the red was still tied up on the bottom cushion. Dom found a way. He'd definitely rather be yellows.
He won't be happy with how it's come out. He won't be too disappointed either, but two yellows just going together. He would rather have seen them just split apart a little bit, but they are makeable as a plant. They're not dead set, but they're very makeable.
Extension, please.
Oh, nearly made the 8-ball. Great pot.
See him eyeing that one up. He was looking to kick the yellow into the yellow and red, try and break it out. He's got great cue power. Don't think he's going to look at. He's not got an angle to take it from here, but he could leave an angle on the one to top right to come down. He's going to. Putting all his eggs in one basket here. He's going to have to leave this on the cushion and then play the last red to top right and come down and cannon into the yellow. He needs this to be perfect now. So much can go wrong with this. Full ball's not a lot of good. Needs the half ball glance on it.
Just misses it, shaves it, but no good. now Dom is in complete control of this frame. Still has to work out the yellow underneath the cue ball right now, but very much in the driving seat.
He attempted to lay a snooker here. Again, it's clever play. It forces John into developing the bad ball. And obviously if he doesn't develop it, then Dom gets ball in hand. What an escape that is. Lovely pace too.
It's clever play, isn't it? That it's a very good escape, but if he doesn't get the escape right, he's not moving anything open. Dom wants him to hit it harder and open everything up. He's not going to fall into that trap.
Go one cushion here. Again, dead weight. Has he left it? No. Close. But I wonder if Dom can now just glance off that yellow, leave the cue ball at the top of the table, maybe try and get a snooker in, but also push the yellow towards that. Yeah, he's looking now where he wants to leave. So push the yellow towards the pocket. Quite what he wanted, it's giving John a sighter, but there isn't really much here. This is not a good line for the double back into the top right, and that's about the. Well, I was going to say, is it the only pocket? Is the left-hand side middle a big pocket? Can it generate enough angle to get the red across there?
Not sure. Not sure that's on.
No, he doesn't think so either. Yeah,
Wow. Getting the strangest sense of deja vu. This just feels like frame one all over again on repeat. John with one ball on the table looking for an inventive double or trying to make something happen, and Dom gets the opportunity to counter now and get himself one frame in front. We've used 22 minutes in this match, and bearing in mind one of them was a break and clearance, one of the 3 frames we've had. Shows you how 2 of these frames have gone.
These frames now, with the clock coming down to the halfway mark, very, very important, because this could easily, on this kind of pace, it could easily finish kind of 4-3, 4 each. Doesn't feel like there's going to be much in this one. One frame lead now is pretty huge.
Has he got a touch too much angle on this one?
I think so, but I think it's just okay. Can top it, maybe even. Yeah, I think he just clears the 8. Yeah.
Yeah, putting a little bit aside as well, just trying to spin up the table as far as possible. A little bit of jeopardy on this shot. If he was straight, he'd have been right behind it, unmissable. He still shouldn't be missed. But we talked about these tables, and it's not missed. It's straight in. Simple 8 ball then. Very scratchy frame once again.
Just behind Dom Cooney is our resident bookmaker. So I guarantee if the bookmaker's in here watching the match, he's had a few quid placed on this one. Because he's keeping a keen watching brief there, just sat in Dom's corner. That's Dale Such from Elite.
Did you catch the odds for head of the match? I didn't see them. I very rarely do go and have a look at them, the match odds. I do kind of glance over the pre-tournament odds, but you would expect John McAllister to be made the favourite for the match, with the form of he's shown this year. He's very much, for my money, top 3 for the year, if not top 2. 2 titles for John McAllister this year.
Yeah, I think he was just favourite, but there wasn't a massive amount in it. He was kind of 4-7, 4-6, I think. Probably about right.
Yeah, I think no doubt. I mean, but you'd be, if you wanted to have a little flutter, then a few pennies on Dom Cooney with those sort of odds would be quite nice, because he's a player that has already proved he can go on and win a tournament. So, you know, it's wouldn't be the worst shout.
Cue ball run there. This wheel's still cut, but it's thin and he's slightly hampered too. Very thin.
Extension, please.
Cue ball's tracking. You can see he's looking at where it's going. It's going towards the reds. He'd be unlucky not to be on anything if he makes the pot. Two in one.
Would have preferred the yellow to stay over the left centre, but it's not the end of the world. He's on the yellow top right. Not the greatest of angles, but he's on it anyway.
Yes, the line takes him into the other yellow as well, so he's going to have to judge the cannon here.
To me, it's the similar sort of shots we played previously when he was he or wasn't he nudging the 8-ball. Knowledge of the cue ball, huge here.
Actually, just looking at the overhead, he may just be able to miss it again. Yeah, a little brush. It's not brilliant, but it's okay. His middle pocket's not quite as treacherous as they are on a Supreme table. I think you can thin this, but just needs to think about the cue ball, because the cue ball will be running. Already used his extension, so needs to get a bit of a wiggle on. 6 seconds left. He's checked every possible angle. Just heart would have been in the mouth for a second. I think he's just okay.
Yeah, checking out the body language, he looks okay. He looks happy enough.
Nice clearance. And a quick frame as well. Finds a ball. Finds a couple. 2 reds in. Not the worst. Not the best either. It's one of those. 1 ball, 1 red tied up. But there is a red near. He may be able to use to try and develop.
Hard to get a good angle on that ball, though. I think that 2 reds at the bottom are awkward.
If he can get to the potting angle of the one just above the yellow, which I assume he's going straight for now, yeah, that would definitely make yellow's the favourite.
Yeah, he's got the perfect ball to play the breakout on the yellow that's nearest the bottom right-hand corner. He's got a couple of options, but yeah, the one at the top was the one that he had to get on first, and he's done that.
He needs to do it now.
If he plays it now, bottom left, and goes into them, he needs to get a good cannon. Not guaranteed to be on a ball after this shot.
This is where we've seen John McAllister struggle a couple of times now, when he's had to break a ball out, just finding the right line. So, can Dom Cooney find it? Just a little bit awkward cueing, because the red, the top of the table is just slightly in the way. He can cue between. Great shot. Judge well.
Yeah, it could have come out a touch kinder for him, but he wanted to make sure he got that sort of glancing cannon rather than full ball, because if he got the full ball he'd be on nothing. He does have pots on now, but they're all awkward for a variety of reasons. One bottom right positionally, slightly tricky.
I think this one pays the dividends though. If he gets this right and gets on the next ball, then everything's should be fairly plain sailing. Oh, that's come too far. Blimey.
I think he was playing to come too far, the way he's hit that.
Yeah, maybe.
He's on the one to bottom left. Certainly hit it a lot firmer than I thought he would.
Me too.
I thought he'd play for the yellow into the centre. The problem with playing for the yellow into the centre was that it was going to give him a bad angle unless he, you know, he had plum or nothing, basically. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear.
Touch and ball.
Unforced error.
Yeah, hard work was done, really. I know he didn't want to just drop that in because he's leaving a bad angle on the yellow top right, but tried to force it.
He's got a bad angle now.
And he, yeah, that's very true. Yeah, no, it doesn't get any worse.
It's one of those shots you just need to take your medicine. I mean, it's easy to say after the event, but dear me, Dom.
It's a key moment in the match as well. We've ticked into the final, well, we will do in a minute, final 20 minutes. You know, we're half an hour into this match. If he could have got himself 4-1 in front, you know, it's a big margin at this point. 3-2, it's absolutely nothing. 3-2 and John's break as well.
I think he's just tried to do too much there. Just tried to get too cute on that last yellow. Take your medicine, back yourself, and make a couple of awkward pots. Just give yourself a chance. 3-ball plan. He got up then just to have a look at it because he was just thinking about how the second red would react and naturally going across towards the red on the right hand side, so he just played the right pace to make sure he got it. Oh dear. Wow.
Bit casual, that one from John.
I think he felt it was a gimme. It was going to drop, and it would have done on a different table. These corner pockets are unforgiving, and Dom Cooney is exactly the same. It dumps the cube. I mean, that's an absolute gift. Wow.
I think what's happening out there, it's so much more mental than it is. I mean, the pockets are tighter. Yes, they are, of course, but I mean, that's almost, you can't believe that miss from the one from John. Okay, it was a little bit casual, but the miss from Dom there, you just can't believe that.
Crazy.
I mean, and to lose the cue ball, he must have just been. Players are a little bit more stressed on these corner pockets, and it's really showing. Is it a case of beware what you wish for? So many players calling for, wanting this, and well, yeah. Are they enjoying it? 3-2 anyway. That's a swing frame if ever we saw one. Both players should have won it multiple times. Nice bonus for Callum Singleton.
Such a good break. He does it so consistently. Just flushes the front of the pack, cue ball straight up the middle of the table. Opening yellow to middle. Would love to have been able to get to the back of the ball, not be hampered, because he could have just played a little stun shot to come down inside the red and the 8 and just try and open everything up. But it doesn't need to develop anything. I mean, the yellow obviously pots if you get to the right place. It's going to change to reds. I'm surprised. But I guess he saw that developing shot and thought I can open everything here, but
not too much control though. Had to just fire in with pace, and it hasn't really worked.
All the yellows were there, and even the 8 ball didn't need developing, because if you pot the yellow, it opens the pocket for the 8. So yeah, a bit surprised. I think the plan is leave an angle on the one to the left centre, just to come down, land on the yellow, which would leave an angle on the red to bottom right, to then either cannon the yellow or move the 8. Unless there's something else you've seen, maybe he just gets in behind it, or trying to move it now. No. What are you doing with the 8, John?
think he's going to back himself just to play super short position. Maybe a touch short on this one.
Yeah.
Looks almost dead straight into left centre, which means he's going to have too much angle on the last red.
He's going to leave an angle there that he can move the 8.
Yeah.
He may even be forced to move the 8. But
May be forced, exactly as you say. You can't. It's too much angle just to play that soft control.
unless he can full ball cannon into the yellow, he would leave the 8 into the right centre. A little bit of risk attached to that. Definitely can't hold. Yeah, it was going to be a risky play. It was a clever shot, but just has not worked out for him.
Yeah, he actually played it well. You feel like he deserved to, the way he played it. Be on it, he's been unlucky.
Trouble is 15 minutes left on the clock. If he doesn't find a way to pop this, fairly simple clearance for Dom, or a very open table at least. Oh, shot.
What a shot from John McAllister. Digs himself out of trouble. Not one of the players in this quarter of the draw, and all the names on that draw sheet we just showed you, that score sheet we just showed you, apart from the last 96 game, not Ryan Pisani and Connor Jones, are all in the same section. Not one of them will say it, but they'll all be pleased to see Tom Cousins losing 3-0 and hope that result stands. Yeah,
there were a lot of eyes on Tom this weekend in terms of how he's going to adapt to the table. I mean, obviously he's just flown back from the States, so maybe a bit of jet lag. He's also been playing on the bar box over in the States with the bigger balls. I mean, Tom is obviously an exceptional player, we know. So he is still only human. So it's interesting to see how he adapts, and it's not working for him at the moment. Obviously we can't see that game, and could be anything happening. Could be some brilliance from Mark Fleming, could be some sloppy play from Tom, who knows. Again, messy layout. Just slightly underhit there. Overhit there from John. He was trying to hide the cue ball in behind the yellow. He's given Dom openers on the red. He can drop one to middle. He's got the one long. My preference on this table would be to drop the closer one to middle. If he can make the ball, then reds are very much there. That is just going to drop. Just going to drop the pace.
Used it all for sure.
Yeah, the pace helped it in. Played it just the right way.
Tricky positional shot here. Get this one right, you can start to pick it apart. Yeah, had to just swing it. The natural wasn't good, so we had to just swing it enough to avoid the yellow, but not too much to go into the red. And actually, the little cannons worked out okay for him.
Yeah, I think if he can just hold for the red to the left centre, then it should be fairly plain sailing from here, but it's whether he can hold. If he can, he's going to have to navigate around. Well, just came across, played a little cannon.
That really worked out very nicely for him.
Tom's just murdering everything at the moment.
Yeah, he's not happy out there, is he?
No. Beautiful sunny day here in Blackpool today. It's got to be said, it's the first time I've been up here this time of year and actually seen the sun. Right from 7:30 this morning, it was blue skies and sunshine.
We are in a windowless room, though.
I know we are here, yeah. I was stuck in my room on meetings all morning, just looking out the window thinking how nice it looked.
That's better. Back in control. Needs to cue this one in, though. If he does, the frame is there for him. Lovely shot. Floats it in.
wants to be fairly low on this last red. Big angle, which means it takes the yellow to the left-hand side completely out of play. Now he can just play a natural line off the top cushion, maybe just a trace of left-hand side, just to help the cue ball. You can see just cueing up to the left-hand side of the ball. In fact, he put a lot of left-hand side to come side cushion into the line of the 8, which is really nice. If you ever teaching pool, then that's how you would teach it to come into the line of the ball. Gives you much more margin of error. Very good clearance. And Dom Cooney takes the advantage again, 4 frames to 3.
We may well, the clock is going to be a big factor in this match now, there's no doubt. Dom needs 3, John needs 4, only 10 minutes to play. Yes, they could both get there, but it's going to be a factor.
Ooh, dry break's no good.
Dry break, but good break.
Wow.
Is no good at all.
Oh, look at the yellows. I mean, actually, on second thought,
there's one bad yellow.
Yeah, the
on
yellow
by the 8 ball.
Just by the 8 ball. Might be red, you know.
And then a red down the table's awkward as well.
Yeah, I'm just wondering whether you can.
I mean, you could. Maybe he's got too much angle. I was wondering if he could play into the 8 ball first shot, but I think he's got too much angle.
That's what I was looking at. Same thing.
Certainly the big decision. I think he's going to go yellows, but that's the ball to work out.
Yellow ball's in play. 15-second shot clock in.
I think if you leave the right line, you can actually get the potting angle on that yellow past the 8, but
there's very little room.
Yeah. Oh dear. I mean, it did feel like that pulled away slightly. Good to see that again. You can see just as it gets across the bulk line, it just starts pulling. Maybe a finger mark up there somewhere. There you can see.
Yeah, you can almost see the moment it turns, can't you?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that wasn't the table. When they moved so suddenly, it just suddenly moved at the last second. I'm pretty sure that was a finger mark. Table's been playing pretty true so far, so just count yourself unlucky there. What you can do. Golden opportunity. And now transfers to John. I said there wouldn't be much in this game. Looks like we're going 4 each. Brings in the potential of a 6-red shootout. This was a massive frame. Oh wow, John.
Snookered on all 3. Might have edges, but he hasn't got a potting angle on any of them.
I think he's got this one to top left. The one in the middle of the table that he's aiming at. And that is close. No. Now then, Dom Cooney, what a chance you've got here, sir. 750. A chance to really take the advantage.
Nearly ran out of time.
It's all about that ball. Just below the 8. No. He was trying to come across. Cannon the 8 ball, I think.
Yeah, delicate one though, wasn't it? He wanted just to widen the angle, but not too much.
Even a cannon onto the red to move the red would have left the yellow into the bottom right pocket.
Oh, that was tight. That was tight.
It's not a bad shot though.
Yeah, no foul given. Referee not having another look at this one. Satisfied that was in time. Does make a difference.
John having another hooray.
Oh, he hasn't, has he? Oh, wow. Because he's plumb on the red at the bottom of the table as well.
Is there loss of turn? Just stunning behind the 8 ball. Snooker him. Pop one to top left. No. just leaving it. Well, it was a lost turn, but that wasn't what he was playing, that's for sure.
What a nudge he's had at the end there, that
Wow.
little feather to get the snooker. Without that, he's leaving sight of both reds. Not saying that John could have done anything with it, but he'd be able to see it. We've ended up in a bit of a hit and hope battle here.
John's had about 4 of these in the match so far. He's not made one. Almost unlucky not to make one. He's caned every one of them. Surely now. And actually, this is played right into Dom's hands, because if he takes a 2-frame lead here, there's going to be 5 minutes left on the clock. He's breaking the next frame as well. I've got to say, big advantage to Dom Cooney at the moment.
He'll take the same break he had in the first 2 frames, where it came out messy and horrible. Let's have another. Well, we couldn't have a 10-minute frame like they both were. That's why we have got so few frames played, is that frames 1 and 3 took all but 10 minutes apiece.
John's currently looking at the back of Dom's shirt, thinking how true that statement is after the roll he got in there.
You have to say, though, John made his mistake in this frame. He certainly had his chance to win it and didn't take it.
Yeah.
A chance he would have expected to make as well. He's going to find himself 2 frames behind with all but 5 minutes to play.
His cue action, the way he pots balls down rails, I think, really do think that this could be a good change for Shane. And what a split. Finds a ball and he's away. He's going to use every second, I think. I mean, he's going to fancy himself to get this clearance, but even if he doesn't, he can eat a couple of minutes off the clock. Should be able to seal the deal here. I mean, I know we're a race to 7, but you feel, 3 ahead is all the work's done. With what's going to be about 3 minutes left on the clock, it would take a miracle with no golden 8 ball in play.
Yeah, every second that ticks down hurts John McAllister here. Would love to have got rid of the one on the break line before being in the position he's in now, because it's perfect ... for the final 3, but it might have to just go up for the one at the top and come back down. He's got a wide window for it, so it shouldn't be a problem for him. I'm actually surprised he tried to get up to the straight. I actually thought he'd just roll that in and leave the natural two cushion angle to, as you said earlier on, to track in line.
Yeah.
The reason he was grimacing is he now has too much angle on this one. The reds are actually in play here.
Yeah, I think it should be okay. I think it just comes, cannons the top one of the 3, full ball cannon, he can't fail to be on the 8. He could pinch past. So reactive, these cloths.
3 in front at the right time here for Dom Cooney. He's 1 away from victory, but he's 2 minutes 29 seconds away from victory. Connor Jones's way. He's won 7 frames to 5 as John McAllister breaks dry for good measure, and this match is all but done. Really tough section of the draw for both these players. They will have a keen eye on that Tom Cousins match, no doubt about it. The #1 players in your quarter, you know about it. The winner of this match plays the winner of David Hogan and Christophe Lambert, which is currently 5-1 to Christophe Lambert, and then the winner of that one goes into the section of Tom Cousins, which at the moment is 4-1. Mark Fleming also has Josh Joaz and David McNamara in it. So it'll be a, looks likely right now, last 32 matchup, Dom Cooney and Christophe Lambert. I have to say, Nick, 3 matches in now, and the players have got what they asked for. They have got a tighter table, and it's certainly playing with players' mentalities out there.
I can't wait until we see some kind of drama, you know, like a semi-final deciding frame, when people are starting to twitch and the tight pockets really do come into it. I think that's really going to create some insane drama.
John's not going to give up here, but essentially it's not going to happen. He knows he's just having a bit of a free swing at it here. Worth pointing out, we just had a result. John Chipperfield is now 7-5 in front of Connor Tracy. And John has finally had enough. He knew when he was at the table he couldn't turn it around. So a very much a grind out there through the middle part of the match. But it is the cowboy, Dom Cooney, that gets over the line. And he moves on to the last 32. And we'll hear from him after this break.